Hello and welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be doing a 45-minute deep stretch class. I figured it would be a nice way to just kind of get through this cold weather. So if you'd like to join me, this will be posted for 24 hours. Please feel free to join when you're ready and we'll get started in our yoga positions here on our mats today. So go ahead and come on over to your mat when you're ready. If you like, you can grab a couple of blocks for today's practice. If you don't have blocks at home, that's okay. Just feel free to practice without. If it's your first time joining me, my name is Sarah. If you're coming back, welcome back. And today we'll move our bodies to feel nice and warm, hopefully. So we're going to start out right away today on our backs. You can come to the very top of your mat, feet towards the front, soften your knees and grab behind your knees as you start to lower down nice and slowly onto your back. Go ahead and relax all the way down and then walk your feet mat width distance apart. Like a fallen bridge, knock your knees in towards one another. And then stretch your arms out to a big Texas T, turning your palms down today. So take a moment to get settled in your space. Be heavy through your limbs, heavy through your hips, head, and heels. And just start to take a moment to land in. Arriving here on your mat and separating yourself from any distractions, separating yourself from wherever you came from before you arrived on your mat. And taking some time to just notice the space that you're within, any sounds within your environment, the way that the air feels on your skin, the heaviness of your body and the connection of your body to the earth or to your mat. So take a moment to tune into those contact points of your body and the earth and know that that support is always there for you, supporting you and lifting you up. And then start to take your awareness more internally. Tapping into you, what's going on with you today? Energetically, how are you feeling? Emotionally and mentally, what's going on? How are you showing up on your mat today? Try not to judge yourself or set any expectations, but just notice. And then lastly, begin to find your breath. At first, just be the observer of your breath, feeling the rise and fall of your belly and chest, or listening to the sound of your breath. On your next exhale, release any stale air that you might be holding on to, either out the nose or out the mouth. Take a deep breath in through your nose, fill up your belly and your ribs. Open your mouth, exhale, let it go. 2 more like that. Breathing in through your nostrils, fill and expand up. Breathing out through nose or nostrils, empty completely. Do this one more time, filling up as much as you can this round. Open mouth, exhale, let it all go. Now seal your lips. Allow your breath to travel in through your nostrils. And this time back out through your nostrils. And begin to cultivate your Ujjayi pranayama, your yogic breath, if that's a part of your practice. And if it isn't, just aim to find equal length in your inhales and exhales. There's a slight restriction through the back of the throat. The breath sounds a lot like the ocean waves or Darth Vader. Begin to breathe in and out through your nostrils, building heat from the inside out now. Activating the parasympathetic nervous system, but also providing a sense of focus for us. And in this place of focus, if I may offer up one word for your intention today, Your word is presence or mindfulness. And today I invite you to draw that into your practice. Remind yourself that there's nowhere else that you need to be, nothing else that you need to be doing except for being still right here and now. Practice mindfulness as you move throughout your transitions today, and give quality attention to each moment. With that in mind, start to press down through your palms. Take a moment to hug your knees into your chest, pausing here. Breathing in, and then breathing out. Good. Go ahead and set your feet back down to the earth. Wiper your knees right, wiper your knees left. And do this a few more times on each side. Grounding down with your palms, but allowing your spine to begin moving, allowing your legs and your hips. The next time your legs fall over to the right, keep them there and roll all the way over onto your right side, stacking left shoulder on top of right. And with your left palm, press yourself up with as little effort as possible. Come into a seat. And I'm going to face towards you so we can see each other a little bit more. Either easy seat, cross-legged like I am, or if you have a block, blanket, or even pillow, you can slide it underneath your hips here. Sit up nice and tall, lengthen through your spine, ground down through your sits bones. Roll your shoulder blades onto your back body. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. I'm going to mirror you. Exhale, bring your right hand down. Stretch your left arm up and over to the right for a nice side body bend. Keeping the top shoulder stacked on top. Your gaze can be up, forward, or down. And if you've got a little bit more space, you can bend into that bottom elbow as long as you keep your left sits bone nice and grounded towards the mat. Inhale, come up through center, lengthen through your side bodies. Keep that integrity, and then take it to the other side. A side bend over to the opposite. So reaching your right arm up and over, and even though you're reaching, try to plug your shoulder blade back into its socket. And now in a flow. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend left. One more on each side. Inhale, up. Exhale, side bend. Keeping shoulders stacked over one another as you move. Inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, bring your palms down. Facing towards the front of your mat or room space, wherever you're practicing. Come on to all fours, finding your tabletop position. Stack shoulders right over wrist, hips over knees. Spread your palms really wide. And like a starfish hangs itself on the edge of or the side of an aquarium, suction cup your palms to the earth. Inhale, hammock your belly down. Take your gaze forward or up, like a cow hangs its belly towards the grass. Cow pose. You can tuck your toes here if you like. Exhale, round through your spine. Press away from the earth. Look back at your thighs like a scared Halloween cat. Lift your back. Two more like that. Inhale, hammock your belly down. Lift your gaze forward or up. Lift your crown and tail. Exhale, round through your spine. Press away from the earth. Let this feel good through the back of the neck, shoulders. One more time with your breath. Use the full length to open up your chest. Use the full length of your exhale to round and dome your upper back. Inhale, return to a neutral tabletop position. So pulling your belly in just slightly. Walk your palms a palm print forward. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. You can start to pedal out through your knees here right away. Working out through the hamstrings. The hamstrings are the biggest muscles of the body, so have patience with them. Give them time to warm up. Spread your palms again, geckoing your grip there. Gecko your palms and then root down through the heels of your palms, shooting your tailbone up and back. Make sure that you're not hyperextending through the shoulders, but you're keeping your ears in line with your biceps. Soften the backs of your knees and stretch your heels towards or on the back of your mat. There's no requirement for them to touch. Gaze can be between your toes, your thighs, or up at your navel. Take a moment to find a place of stillness, the strength through the arms, legs, core, and back that it takes to hold this position. Inhale, look forward, bend your knees even more, and walk your feet up so that your toes land behind your wrist creases into a forward fold. While you're here, bend your knees generously and catch a hold of opposite elbows. Find Ragdoll Pose. Allow your head to hang heavy in that square shape you've made with your arms. Bring weight more forward into the ball mounds of your feet. Good place to lengthen and straighten the legs, starting to work into those hamstrings a little bit more. This posture is meant to release our low back and to open up the hamstrings. So you can sway head and hip side to side if you like, just releasing here. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat. Keep this soft micro bend in your knees, and as slow as you can, start to roll up your spine, one vertebra at a time. Roll your shoulder blades up, back, and down, and inhale, reach your arms overhead, high mountain. Exhale, goalpost your arms, lift your chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, take your gaze forward. Exhale, airplane your arms back and sit into chair pose. So it may not be your deepest chair just yet, but you want all weight into your heels, and as you look past your kneecaps, you should be able to see all 10 toes. You might even lift them off the mat to help you find a little bit more weight. Roll your shoulder blades onto your back body and go for height in your arms. Inhale, stay in your chair, reach your arms up. Exhale, sweep them back. 2 more like that. Heating up the legs, breathe in, and exhale, sweeping back. Important that we do this before we get into some of these deeper stretches. On your third inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, press away from your shins, knees, or thighs. Parallel your torso to the earth and reach like crazy from crown to tail, halfway lift. Exhale, bring hands down to blocks or the earth and walk your feet wide. Toes are going to remain forward, maybe a little bit off of your mat here, not your widest wide-legged. Keeping hips stacked right over your ankles. Take an inhale, reach your crown forward, and exhale, forward fold. Breath in. Breath out, add a softness into your knees. If you feel that you're hyperextending, you should feel more weight into the ball mounds of your feet versus your heels here. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Turn your toes out and your heels in. Reach all the way up to the sky. 5-pointed star pose. Get really big here. And exhale, lower down into your Malasana Squat. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Stand tall. Exhale, lower down, Malasana Squat, stay long through your spine. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, turn your toes forward and wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Heel toe your heels back underneath of your hips. So now that you're back, hip width distance apart. Exhale, step your left foot back, keeping the left knee lifted. Find your low lunge. Now pause here for a moment. Try to get your back heel to stack over your toes. Pull your tum in and off of your front thigh and loop your shoulder blades onto your back. Now inhale, press through the feet, scissor hug your thighs and reach your arms up. High crescent lunge. Take an inhale. Exhale, cactus your arms and bend your back knee. Inhale, straighten your arms and legs. Listen closely. Exhale, airplane your arms back, lean your chest forward. Again like that. So first inhale, bend into your front knee, rise up, high crescent. Exhale, bend elbows, bend knees. Inhale, straighten arms and legs. Exhale, this time bring your hands down, frame your front foot, soften your knees, and step forward into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straighten your arms. Exhale, forward fold. Root down to rise all the way up, high mountain, arms stretched to the sky. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift your chest. Inhale, look forward, reach up. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen, shoulders roll onto your back, gaze is straight down. Exhale, plant palms to blocks or the earth, step your right foot back and prepare here in your lunge. So no rush to get into that high crescent. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Good. See if you can get low into the lunge of your left leg, high onto the ball of your back foot. When you're ready, spread your left toes, lift your arms up. High crescent lunge, toning the abs, sharpening the arms. Exhale, keep that integrity as you bend your elbows and knee. Inhale, straighten both arms and legs. Exhale, airplane your arms back. Scissor hug your thighs here, tricky balance. One more time. Inhale, high crescent. Exhale, bend your elbows and knees. Inhale, straighten arms and legs. This time, exhale. You can soften this front knee as much as you like. Bring your hands down to frame your foot. Bend into the back knee, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, root down, rise all the way up. High mountain. Stand tall here as you exhale, lift your chest. Bend your elbows. Inhale, high mountain again, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. You can bring your hands to blocks or the earth. Heel toe your feet wide once again, toes out. Heels in, you can go as wide as your mat or even a little bit wider if you like this round. Soften your knees. Inhale, reach up to 5-pointed star pose. Exhale down into your goddess squat this round. Take your hands to your inner thighs. Breathe in, lift up through your crown. Breathe out, twist to your left. So drop your right shoulder down, look over your left. At the same time, you're pressing your knees back here. The tendency is that they want to collapse inward. Don't let them. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, twist over to the other side. Dropping the left shoulder, looking over the right. Good. Inhale, come through center. Turn your toes forward. Straighten your legs. And find that wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Heel toe your feet back into hip width distance so our hips are square. Step your left foot back, bring your left knee down, keep the back toes tucked, and inhale your arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana or low lunge. So take a moment here to get set up. You want this front knee right over your ankle. You want your toes spread nice and wide. Scissor hug your right hip back. You'll feel a nice big stretch through this left hip flexor, the front of the hip. See if you can tuck your tailbone down, drawing your pelvis in and up. Lift up through your crown and reach like crazy through your arms. Now keep this integrity. Take a breath in. With or without the support of your hands, see if you can exhale, either airplaning your arms or hands down to blocks or the earth. Straighten the right leg for half splits. And now in a flow. Inhale, lift up, low lunge. Exhale, scissor hug. Drive your right heel into the earth. Reach your arms back, chest forward. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, stay in your half splits this time. We're going to hold for 5 rounds of breath. So if you need your blocks at any moment or hands can come down to the earth, know that those options are always there for you. Keep a soft micro bend in your right knee. Flex your foot so your toes curl back towards your nose. 2 more rounds of breath in. Lengthen through your crown. Exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper. 1 more breath in. Exhale, sink forward into your front hip. Bring your hands down to frame your foot and then heel toe your right foot out to the right. Option to grab a block here. You can stay lifted onto palms or you could lower down onto forearms, finding your lizard lunge here today. So your right knee could slack out to the right if you wanted, coming onto the knife edge side of the foot, or you can just keep the knee hugged in close to your shoulder. See if you can relax through your face muscles, neck, and jaw. This is typically where we hold stress and tension in our body. More importantly, see if you can be mindful about this practice here. When we get into these deeper holds, the practice becomes less physical and a little more mental. So one of the greatest resources that we can utilize to bring us back to the present moment if our minds wandered is just simply the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Now you're welcome to stay right here. If you'd like a twisting lunge back bend, inhale, come up onto your palms. And you can watch me once if you're not sure what that is just yet. Bring a block under your left hand to elevate yourself. The higher you can lift here, the more likelihood we might have to catch a hold of the back foot. Now, I didn't instruct straps today, so I'm going to give you some options. Options 1, press the right knee away, come onto the knife edge side of the foot. Option 2, reach your right arm back. Option 3, if you have the space, bend into your left knee, catch a hold of foot or ankle, and then kick your foot back today to open up the chest. Even if you're not making the connection, you can still reach back and let your left hip flexor come forward. Any variation of the posture is still the posture. Just go to your degree and hold for 2 more breaths. Last inhale. And then exhale, let go of the foot if you do have a hold of it. Bring your hand back around to frame your foot. You may want to use your block sort of as support here. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, your right foot over to the left until you're able to set your right hip onto the earth. Now my left hip is kind of rolling up here, so I'm going to move my right heel a little bit closer to my left hip. Remember, if your right hip isn't quite making a connection with the earth, fill it in with something. Block, water bottles, towels, they all work great. Or blankets if you're at home. First, lengthen through your back leg. Make sure the heel's in line with the hip. Try to point your toe like a ballerina. Energy through the muscle of the leg. Front foot is flexing. Toes curl back towards your knee. Walk your hands under your shoulders. Feel this lengthen your spine. And keep it there as you lower down, either onto a block, forearms, forehead. Lots of great options here. If your head is just hanging out, you can always bring your thumbs to your third eye. Or if you have blocks, right? You can bring blocks, books, whatever you can stack yourself on here at home. Deep breaths here as we get into the outer hip. A great time to see if you can come back to this present moment. Practice being present here. Belly is nice and soft, face muscles, neck and jaw are soft, but stay active through your legs. You want to flex the feet and protect the space around your joints. 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale, come back up onto your palms. If there's a block under your hip, go ahead and slide it to the side. Lean all the way onto your right hip, and then swing your back leg around to find this sort of half butterfly shape. As you turn towards your bent right knee, grab a hold of your right knee with your left hand, and then inhale, sweep your right arm up and over, heading towards your left toes. Again, no requirement for them to touch, but just so that you have a general direction of where you're reaching for. This top hand can stay here or come behind your head. Revolved head to knee pose or Jana Shirshasana. Lengthening out through your right side body. You can use your left elbow as a lever to keep pulling and rotating your right ribs open. We never want them to collapse. We're going to come to that posture in just a moment. But for now, stay lifted through your chest, active through your legs. Good. You can also take this top arm behind you and look down towards your left knee, relaxing your neck as another option with a half bind. When you're ready, inhale, rise all the way up, reach your arms to the ceiling, and then exhale, directly fold over your right shin. So bringing your hands to blocks or the earth. Start to lower down to your degree. Flexing through your left foot, stay active through your leg. You want your kneecap and your toes to point directly up towards the sky, and you're reaching your heart towards the front of your mat here. If your head feels heavy, make sure you're supporting it with your hands or a block. 1 more big breath in and out. Inhale, come all the way back up to a tall seat. Reach your arms overhead, and this time bring your right hand behind your back, behind your shoulder. Point your left toes and rise up onto your right shin for Stargazer Pose. Option to gaze back towards your right fingers. Maybe circle out your left wrist, one direction, and then the other. Now as you come back around, bring your left arm all the way to the front of your mat. You're heading into table. So bring left knee and then right knee underneath of your hip. Inhale, extend your right leg long with the toes lifted, and then cross your leg over your left shin, planting the toes down. Even though we're going to look back towards our left heel, think about pressing your right hips out towards the long edge side of your mat. Big side body opening here, plus a nice big stretch through the calf. Good. And then bring your knees together. Lean your hips over to the right. Lean your hips over to the left. Leaning dog here. And then returning to your neutral tabletop. Inhale, walk your palms a palm print forward. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips to the sky. Downward facing. Inhale, look forward, bend your knees. Exhale, take 2 big steps up to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Heel toe your feet out wide. Toes out, heels in. You can go as wide as your mat or wider, up to you. Inhale, reach your arms up, star pose. Exhale to your goddess squat. Bring your hands to your inner thighs right away. Drop your left shoulder, look over your right. Press your knees back. Inhale through center, lengthen your crown. And exhale, twist to the opposite side here. Inhale, come through center. Go ahead and come all the way back up to stand. Turn your toes forward. Exhale, hands through heart center. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Heel toe your heels back underneath of your hips so your hips are square once again. Exhale, step your right foot back. Lower your right knee down with the toes tucked. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, Anjaneyasana or low lunge. And the tendency is here to just kind of dump right forward into that front knee, but what we're doing is we're not engaging the core when we do that. So I want you to take a moment to stand tall, tuck your tailbone, pull your belly in, try to draw your hip bones closer up to your low ribs. Spread your left toes. It should feel like there's a lot of work for you to have to scissor hug this left hip back. And then in turn, you're getting a nice stretch for the right hip flexor. Reach your arms up tall, but relax your shoulder blades down. Inhale here, exhale, drive your left leg straight, your left heel into the mat. Sweep your arms back into airplane wings for half splits. Again, you can use your hands at any moment, tricky balance. In a flow, inhale, lunge forward, lift up. Exhale, sink back, reach back. One more time, inhale, lunge forward, lift up. Exhale, airplane your arms, half splits. You hold here for 3 rounds of breath. So again, the tendency is to kind of dump forward in the shoulders. Don't let yourself. Loop them onto your back body and see if you can pinch your pinky fingers together as though they could touch behind your back. Go for height in the arms. Lift your left toes and scissor hug your left hip back. One more big breath in. Stay for the breath out. Good. Inhale to prepare. And exhale, lunge forward into your front knee. You can bring your hands down. This time, walk them on the inside of your left foot. Heel toe your left foot out to the left, preparing for our lizard. Again, you can stay lifted onto palms, whether that's on the floor or on a block. You can lower down to forearms, whether that's to a block or the earth. Take a moment here to get your hips set, and then decide if you want to explore here. You might even just take some hip circles, one direction and then the other. You could let your left knee slack out. We're supporting the weight of our body with our arms here, so now we don't have to worry too much about that left knee being in alignment. Plus it feels nice to open up that hip. You could always find more heat, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Take your next 3 rounds of breath here. Noticing if your mind has wandered, bring it back to the present by finding your breath. If you like, you can stay here. Otherwise, if you want to join me for the twisting lunge back bend, inhale, come up onto your palms. Right hand comes to a block or the floor. And block has 3 different levels, so tune into that. Option 1, press your left knee away like you're mad at it. Option 2, reach your left arm back. Option 3, if you have more space, catch a hold of right foot or ankle this time. And instead of squeezing it in for a quad stretch, we're going to kick it back for a heart opener today, or a twisting lunge back bend is what this posture is called. Feels right, nice and open through this right hip flexor as we let the weight come forward to the front of our mat. And again, staying lifted out of this right palm so you're not collapsing, but you're supporting the weight. Take one more big breath in, and then exhale, let go of the foot. Bring your left hand back around to frame your left foot, and you can use your blocks as support. Start to heel toe your left foot over to the right until you're able to bring your left knee down safely to the mat. And this front shin does not have to be parallel to the top of our mat. We're taking a degree of the posture where we can sit with our hips square to the front. So check in with your back leg, work your way back to the front, and then walk your hands under your shoulders. Add support where needed, and then begin to lower down. Any amount here. And enjoying these next few rounds of breath. Noticing what it feels like to be in this posture on this side in comparison to your first. Make sure you're engaging through your leg muscles, flexing the feet. Good place to close the eyes and take your focus back inwards. Take your next 3 rounds of breath here. Last breath in and out. Inhale, walk your hands back up under your shoulders. If you've got support under this hip, slide it over so you can lean all the way onto it, and then bring your right leg around. Your left foot's going to land on the inside of your right thigh. It doesn't have to be perfect here, but this way we can see each other a little bit better on this side. Twist towards your bent knee. Take a hold of it with your right hand. Inhale, sweep your left arm up, rainbow it over towards your toes. Notice I'm not rounding. I'm keeping the shoulder blades stacked. You can take your hand here, or you could even take it behind your back today if you like, and then look down at your right knee. Notice also I'm keeping the lengthened leg foot flex instead of just letting it hang out, trying to keep the energy through the muscle of the leg. And then this nice half bind allows us to keep the left shoulder down the back. You can use this right arm, this bicep, as a lever to pull open. Revolved head to knee pose. Take one more big breath in. Big side body stretch on the left. Inhale, come back up through center. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky and turn forward. Exhale, straight fold over your left shin, directly over your shin here. So again, hands to blocks or the earth. I'm going to move towards my shin a little bit more here. You want to make sure both sits bones are grounded and keeping that nice length through the spine. Right foot and leg remains engaged. 2 more rounds of breath. Last one in. Good, and then inhale, come all the way back up. Nice tall seat, arms overhead. Bring your left hand behind your shoulder, point your right toes. Come onto your left shin and press, thrust your hips and your heart to the sky. You can take your gaze back towards your left fingers. Maybe circle out that right wrist, one direction and then the other. And remember, as we come back around, we're going to sweep this right arm all the way out in front so we can return to tabletop position. Extending our left leg back behind us. Inhale, cross it over your right shin, ground through the toes, and look over your right shoulder as you reach your left heel back. Send your left hip and side body towards the left long edge side of your mat. Feel this nice big opening laterally through your left. Inhale, come back to tabletop position. This time, walk your knees back, walk your hands forward, and begin to lower onto your belly and your forearms here. You can start to turn your left forearm so that it's parallel to the top of your mat. Walk it under your shoulders so you can prop your chest up. And then bend into your right knee. Reach back with your right hand and catch a hold of your foot or ankle. If you're not able to make that connection, you could grab a scarf, belt, towel, whatever. They all work great. And then either decide to stay right here, inviting your right heel closer to your glute, or you can start to walk this forearm out again and lower your forehead down. Now it's easy to do this stretch without really feeling anything. So as you're down here, I want you to think about not only pulling with your right bicep heel towards glute, but also press the front of your right hip into the mat. It'll help you activate through your left leg and hip flexor as well. 2 more rounds of breath. Last one in. And out. Now let go, lift your gaze, let go of your foot, but keep your knee bent. Stretch your arms out to a big T. Palms point towards the earth. Bring your left cheek all the way down to the earth. Walk your right hand in closer to your chest, cricket winging your elbow up, and then roll all the way onto your left side until your right foot hits the mat or the floor behind you. Iron cross. So you want to keep your left wrist in line with your shoulder. You want to be able to feel the twist. You're using your right arm as leverage to either deepen or relax this twist. Your right knee, you could keep it lifting up. It'll help you open through the low spine. Or if you don't really want to use it, you can kind of relax it down today. Big stretch for the pec muscle and the shoulder. Lengthen the legs, come back through center. You can lengthen your arms out to the side. And then work your hands back underneath, elbows stack under your shoulders, finding Sphinx Pose. So Sphinx Pose is a little tricky. We want to make sure elbows are under shoulders and wrists are in line with our elbows. Press down through your palms. And more importantly, pull your navel up and away from the earth. Lift up through your crown. And then imagine that your elbows are tugging towards the back of your mat, even though they don't move. Try to reach your heart between the base of your arms. Draw your chin down to your chest. Stretch out the back of your neck. Close your eyes here. Good. Inhale, go ahead and lift your gaze, lift your head, and we'll take this to the other side. Parallel your right forearm to the top of your mat, propping your chest up, bend into your left knee, reach back with your left hand. You can grab straps or equipment here to help you out. And then hug, pull your left heel in closer to your glute by using your left bicep. Decide if you want to stay lifted through your head or lower down onto your forearm. Press the left hip flexor into the mat. Press the right hip flexor into the mat and even point through your right toe and get that energy moving. One more full breath in and then exhale. Just let go of your grip. Keep the hamstring curl. As you lift your gaze in your chest, open up your arms to a T. Bring your right temple and cheek down to the mat. And with your arms straight, right wrist in line with your shoulders, roll onto your right side and tap your left toes behind you. You can walk this left hand in. And you're using this left hand to either press you away or you might even take it behind your back for a half bind. Big stretch through the pec muscles. All that rounding that we do, we're going to try to reverse it here with this iron cross pose. Stay relaxed through your head. One more big breath in. And then exhale. Return back onto your belly. Prop yourself back up to find your Sphinx Pose once again. Elbows right under shoulders, wrist in line with elbows. Pull your navel in and up. You can stay here or walk your palms a little bit further. Do the same with your feet. If you want more, lift up until your elbows lift for seal pose. Gaze over to the right, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, come through center. And exhale, gaze over to the left. Inhale, come through center, and exhale, release down. Bring your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, ground your knees, press to tabletop position, and then walk your knees in to transition to a seat. You can take your legs out nice and wide here, flexing your feet, pointing your knees up. Bring your hands out in front of you, removing any flesh under the sits bones. And then when you're ready, keeping the toes lifted, start to walk yourself forward, either onto blocks, onto forearms, or maybe just a tuck of the chin is your forward fold today, and that's okay too. Still counts. Any degree of the posture is still the posture. The goal here is to lengthen and decompress your spine, so keep reaching your heart. Press the backs of your knees down into the floor while you curl your toes towards your hip creases. 2 more rounds of breath. Good. Inhale, come back up to a nice tall seat. Bend at your knees. You can grab underneath. Walk your feet mat width distance and just wiper your legs side to side, releasing through the hips. Good. And then reach your legs out nice and long. Remove the flesh out from under your sits bones, pulling up and back. Soften your knees. Do a really big bend in your knees, in fact, until you're able to bring your belly to your thighs. And then from here, just start to work your way down, 1 inch at a time, heels walk forward. Your goal is to keep your belly glued to your thighs. So if this is about your point where you know your belly's starting to separate, that's okay. Just keep the feet flexed and begin to drape your upper body over here. If you know that you can go a little bit deeper and keep that engagement, you're going to reach your elbows out to the sides and bring your forehead down. Gaze between your shins here. If there's a lot of energy moving through your shoulders, a lot of tension, you could also bring your hands back. Loop your shoulder blades back, thumbs forward, fingers back. Finding your Paschimottanasana or seated forward fold. Inhale, come back up. Take your hands behind you, fingers point towards your glutes. Take your feet as though you're setting up for tabletop, but instead of reverse table, just take a little sun bath here. Lift your heart, lift your chest. Imagine the sun's beating on you or gaining that warmth from the sun. Opening the chest and stretching the shoulders one more time. Tuck your chin to your throat. Good, and then release. You can kind of drop back here. Lift up, drop your knees over to the right, and take a twist all the way around until your fingers point towards the back of your mat. If you want a little more, come on down to forearms. Deer pose or deer pose twist. Big breath in and out. Good. Inhale, come back up onto palms. Return your gaze back to the front. Wiper a few times left and right. And then we'll take that over to the other side. Good. Drop your knees over to the left. Twist all the way around until your fingers point the back of your mat. Option to lower down onto forearms. Twisted deer. Good. Inhale, come back up to your palms. Go ahead and sit yourself back up. Maybe a couple more window wipers. Good. And then as you're ready, scoot forward to the top of your mat with knees bent. Lower on down. Keep your knees bent here and just hold. Same place we began. Take a moment to get settled back into your hips and heels, heavy through your limbs and body. Physically, what does it feel like now to be in this shape? If you like, you can stay here. If you want, you can lengthen your arms and legs out nice and long. Final resting pose. Placing your palms up towards the ceiling. Relaxing through your whole entire body. Now, this is the practice that sometimes is the most difficult, but it may be the most important part of the practice. The Shavasana practice is meant for us to restore and for us to rejuvenate, for us to integrate everything that we've just done so that we can harness it throughout our day. Our goal today was to remain present. So even in this moment, stay present, stay here, but in a deep full rest. Deep peace to all of you. Know that you are more than welcome to stay here in this space for as long as you like. In fact, if you're in your own space, I encourage you to stay a little longer. But if you're ready to move on, just simply start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, drawing physical awareness back into your body. Roll wrists and ankles, bend elbows and knees. Stretch arms and legs, maybe a full body stretch. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Roll over onto your right side. Pause in the fetal position. A moment of gratitude for your practice. And with as little effort as possible, press down with your top arm. Lift yourself back up to a nice easy seat, cross-legged or on your shins. Sit up nice and tall and bring your hands together in front of your heart. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Return to your breath. In through the nose and either out the nose or the mouth. Take a moment to notice how you feel now, or in this moment. Can you give quality attention to it? Find your breath. And as you bow your head towards your prayer hands, taking in any new wisdom or light from your practice that you can weave into the rest of your day. My hope is that you found a way to stay connected to the present moment, and you practice this mindfulness throughout your day. I promise everything will seem a little more engaging and have more meaning to it. Thank you so much for sharing your presence and mindfulness with me today. May peace, may love, may light be felt within each and every one of you. Bless you and everyone that you meet. Namaste. All right, thank you, Yogi, so much for sharing your practice with me. As I mentioned, this will be up for 24 hours. I hope you enjoyed that deep stretch flow, maybe a little bit longer than 45 minutes, but good one to do in the morning and the evening. Pair it with a heavy workout. Thank you again for joining me, and again, I hope you enjoyed it until we get to see each other next time. Namaste.